Ladies and gentlemen, the broken-hearted, the misunderstood, the silent warriors in this chaotic game we call relationships, I see you. I see the way you've been treated, manipulated, and taken for granted. You gave them everything, didn't you? Your heart, your soul, your loyalty, and in return, what did they give you? Lies, betrayal, mind games, and worst of all, they were expecting you to break. They were waiting, anticipating your reaction, like vultures circling overhead, just ready to pick apart the pieces of what they thought would be your downfall. But here you are, standing tall. And what did you give them instead of the reaction they so desperately wanted? Silence. And oh, how that silence must be deafening for them now. It's driving them mad, isn't it? Because they were counting on you to fall apart, to scream, to cry, to beg them to come back. They wanted to see you suffer. They wanted the satisfaction of watching you unravel so they could feel powerful. But your silence, that silence is the loudest response you could ever give, and it's killing them. They don't know what to do with it, do they? They don't know how to handle the fact that you're not playing their game anymore. You've walked away from the drama, the chaos, the back and forth mind games, and now they're left with nothing but the hollow sound of their own disappointment. They're disappointed because they were expecting you to crumble, to lash out, to give them the attention they crave so desperately. But instead, you chose the high road. You chose peace. You chose to save your energy for yourself and not waste it on people who never deserved it in the first place. And now they're realizing that your silence is more powerful than any reaction you could have given them. Because silence, true, unwavering silence, makes people confront themselves. It makes them sit with their own thoughts, their own throwing guilt, their own shame. And let me tell you, my friends, there is nothing more terrifying for people like them than being left alone with their own conscience. You see, they expected you to make noise, to fight back, to engage in their little dance of manipulation. But instead, you left them standing there, empty-handed, staring into the void of their own making. And that void, it's starting to swallow them whole. Every moment of your silence is a reminder that they don't have control over you anymore. Every second that you don't respond, don't react, don't engage, is another nail in the coffin of their ego. They hate it. They absolutely hate it. Because people like them, they thrive on chaos. They feed off of drama, off of emotional reactions. They want to see you flustered, angry, desperate, because it makes them feel powerful. It makes them feel like they still have a hold on you. But when you take that away, when you refuse to give them the reaction they're so desperately seeking, you strip them of their power. You take away the very thing they were using to manipulate you, and suddenly they're left with nothing. Just their own disappointment. Just their own emptiness. They thought they could control the narrative. They thought they could pull your strings like a puppet and make you dance to their tune. But what they didn't realize is that you're not a puppet. You never were. You're a storm, a force of nature, and you don't play by their rules anymore. Your silence is your freedom, and their disappointment is the consequence of their own twisted expectations. You know what's beautiful about silence? It gives you space. Space to heal, to reflect, to regain your strength. While they're busy spiraling, consumed by their own disappointment, you're out here growing, evolving, becoming the best version of yourself. And that's what they'll never understand. They thought they were breaking you, but all they did was set you free. And now, in their quiet moments, when they're left alone with their thoughts, they're starting to realize just how badly they underestimated you. They're starting to see that you're stronger than they ever gave you credit for. They thought they could control you with their games, but you've proven that you're above all that. You don't need their validation. You don't need their attention. You don't need anything from them anymore. And that, my friends, is what's driving them mad. They're scrambling now, aren't they? Trying to figure out how to get you to react, how to get you to engage again, because they can't stand the silence. They can't stand the fact that you've taken back your power and left them standing in the ruins of their own manipulations. They thought they could control the outcome, but you flipped the script on them. You walked away, and now they're left with nothing but the wreckage of their own expectations. Oh, how they're regretting it now. They're regretting every lie, every manipulation, every time they pushed you to the edge thinking you'd break, because what they didn't realize is that you're unbreakable. You were always stronger than they gave you credit for, and now in your silence they're starting to see that. They're starting to realize that they lost something real, something valuable, something irreplaceable. And the worst part for them? There's no way to fix it. They can't undo what's been done. They can't take back the damage they caused, the trust they shattered, the love they took for granted. They can't go back in time and undo their mistakes, and now they're left with the harsh reality that they've lost you for good. They'll try to come back, you know, they always do. They'll try to weasel their way back into your life, with apologies and excuses, hoping to reignite the spark they snuffed out. But you won't fall for it this time. Because now you see them for what they really are. You see through their games, their lies, their manipulations. You see that their apology isn't about you, it's about them. It's about their need to feel better, to ease their own guilt, to repair their fragile ego. But you're done playing their game. You're done giving them power over your emotions. They'll be met with the same silence that's been driving them crazy, and that silence will speak louder than any words ever could. Because your silence isn't weakness, it's strength. It's a refusal to be pulled back into the toxicity, the chaos, the emotional roller coaster they tried to keep you trapped on. Your silence is your boundary, your shield, your protection. And in the end, they'll realize that the person they thought they could manipulate, control, and break is the very person who rose above them, who found peace in the silence, who no longer needs anything from them. They'll realize that you were the one who got away, the one they never truly understood, the one they'll never be able to replace. You've won, my friends. Not by shouting, not by fighting, not by engaging in their twisted game, but by choosing silence, by walking away, by choosing yourself. You see, here's the thing they'll never admit out loud. They can't stand that you're not broken. It kills them that you didn't give them the satisfaction of watching you fall apart. Because that's what they wanted, wasn't it? They wanted the tears, the pain, the anger. They wanted you to be consumed by the chaos they created, to be crushed under the weight of the mess they left behind. But you didn't crumble. No, you stood tall. And your strength, it's a constant reminder of their failure. And as the days pass, their disappointment will grow, and the silence will haunt them. They'll look at the people they replaced you with, the situations they thought would bring them happiness, and they'll start to notice something missing. That spark, that energy, that authenticity you brought to their lives, it's gone. And the shallow replacements they surrounded themselves with, they'll never fill that void. Every laugh will feel hollow, every connection surface level, and every moment with someone new will be tainted by the memory of what they let slip away. Let's not pretend it'll be easy for them. Oh no, my friends, the road ahead for them is one filled with regret. Every time they hear your name, see something that reminds them of you, or catch a glimpse of the person you've become, they'll feel that sting of loss. And the more they try to run from it, the louder that regret will echo in their minds. The silence you gave them, it's not just your strength, it's their punishment. It's the mirror they'll have to face every single day. And trust me, they won't like what they see. You see, they never expected you to rise above the ashes they thought would bury you. They thought you would beg, plead, or even lash out. They wanted the drama, the chaos, something to feed their twisted egos. But what they got instead? Silence. That deafening, piercing silence that speaks louder than any words could. They didn't realize that in your stillness, in your decision not to engage, you reclaimed your power. And As they sit with their choices, they're beginning to realize just how much that silence is echoing through their empty lives. They'll replay every moment, every decision, over and over again, wondering why you didn't fight for them, why you didn't give them the satisfaction of your pain. But the truth is, your silence is the most powerful response you could ever give. Because it shows that you have nothing to prove, no need for validation from someone who could never appreciate your worth. They underestimated you, thinking they could rattle you, break you, but instead, you walked away with your dignity intact, leaving them to drown in the storm they created. And that storm? Oh, it's only just beginning for them. The disappointment, the emptiness, the growing realization that they can't replace you, they'll carry that weight for a long time. Every time they look for someone new to fill the void, they'll be faced with the truth they lost something real, something solid, something that could have been theirs if only they had recognized it. And while they spiral in the aftermath of their own destruction, you'll continue to rise, unbothered, because you know that their disappointment isn't your burden to carry. And that victory, it's yours to keep. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a harsh but important reality. People abandon the ones they are using. It's a painful truth, but recognizing and understanding it can empower us to protect ourselves and cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships. We've all encountered people who seem to be there for us, who seem to care, but whose true intentions are revealed over time. They take from us, benefit from our kindness, our resources, our emotional support, and then when we no longer serve their purpose, they disappear. This can leave us feeling used, betrayed, and deeply hurt. But today I want to shift our focus from the pain of being used to the strength and wisdom we can gain from these experiences. Firstly, let's acknowledge the pain. It's real, it's valid, and it's okay to feel hurt. When someone you trusted abandons you, it cuts deep. You might question your worth, your judgment, and your ability to trust others. But remember, their actions are a reflection of them, not of you. You are not to blame for someone else's lack of integrity and respect. Now, let's turn that pain into power. The first step is recognizing the signs of someone using you. People who use others are often manipulative. They might shower you with attention and affection when they need something, but become distant when you need support. They may make promises they don't keep or take advantage of your generosity and kindness without reciprocating. Learn to identify these patterns. Awareness is your first line of defense. Next, set boundaries. Boundaries are essential for protecting yourself from being used. They are not walls to keep people out, but guidelines for healthy interactions. Communicate your limits clearly and confidently. If someone consistently disrespects your boundaries, they are showing you who they truly are. Believe them and take action to protect yourself. It's also crucial to cultivate self-respect and self-worth. People who use others often prey on those who doubt their own value. Know your worth. You deserve relationships that are mutual, respectful, and supportive. Invest in yourself. Pursue your passions, nurture your talents, and take care of your well-being. When you value yourself, you attract people who value you too. Surround yourself with genuine people. Build a support network of friends and loved ones who truly care about you. These are the people who are there for you in good times and bad, who offer support without expecting anything in return. They are your anchors. Lean on them and let their love and support remind you of your worth. Forgive yourself for being used. It's easy to fall into self-blame and regret, but remember, being used is not your fault. You trusted and gave of yourself, which are not weaknesses but strengths. Learn from the experience and use it to grow stronger and wiser. Forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others, but about freeing yourself from the burden of anger and resentment. Embrace the lessons learned. Every experience, no matter how painful, offers an opportunity for growth. What did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about others? How can you use this knowledge to build healthier relationships in the future? Reflect on these questions and let the answers guide you towards a brighter, more fulfilling future. Lastly, don't let the actions of a few taint your view of the world. Yes, there are people who will use and abandon you, but there are also many who will love, support, and stand by you. Focus on the good, the genuine connections, and let them restore your faith in people. In conclusion, people who use and abandon others are a reality of life. But you have the power to protect yourself, to learn and grow from these experiences, and to build relationships that are based on mutual respect and genuine care. Recognize the signs, set boundaries, cultivate self-respect, surround yourself with genuine people, forgive yourself, embrace the lessons, and maintain your faith in the goodness of others. Ladies and gentlemen, let me paint you a picture. A picture of what happens when the storm they created finally comes home to roost. You see, they thought they could run from the wreckage they left in your life, thought they could just replace you like an old toy and move on to greener pastures. But karma, my dear friends, karma doesn't work like that. It's not that simple. They thought they were escaping, but all they did was walk right into the storm they created. And now they're crying for help, drowning in the very chaos they set in motion. Their replacement is crying for help, begging for a way out, but there's no escape from the prison they walked into. Every day is a reminder of what they've lost, of how they traded something real, something pure, for this mess. Every argument, every lie, every broken promise is a slap in the face, a reminder that they gave up gold for dust. And now they're stuck in a cycle they created, trapped in the very storm they unleashed. Let's be clear about something: they didn't leave you because of you. No, you were too good for them, too kind, too real. And that terrified them. So what did they do? They found someone else, someone who they thought would be easier to manipulate, easier to control. Someone who didn't see through the lies, the games, the selfishness. They thought they could start fresh, but all they did was bring their poison into a new home. And now their replacement, the one they thought would be their salvation, is living in the hell they built. You see, they thought it was you. They thought you were the problem. They thought, if I just leave, if I find someone else, everything will be better. But they forgot something. They forgot that they were the poison. They forgot that they were the common denominator in every failed relationship, every broken promise, every shattered heart. And now, the one they thought would save them is the one suffering in their mess. Oh, how the tables have turned. Now their replacement, the one they chose over you, is living the life you once lived. The manipulation, the gaslighting, the mind games, everything you endured, they're now facing. And it's driving them mad. It's breaking them down bit by bit, just like it did to you. But here's the thing: they didn't see it coming. They thought they were special. They thought they were different. But now they're starting to see the cracks in the facade and to realize that they've been fooled, just like you were. And you know what the worst part is for them? It's that now, in their darkest moments, they can't run to you for comfort. They can't come back and say, "I'm sorry, I was wrong," because they know that you're too smart for that now. You're too strong to let them back into your life, too wise to fall for the same tricks again. They know that the door is closed, locked, and barricaded, and that's eating them alive. Oh, how sweet it is to watch from the sidelines, not in malice, no, but in clarity. Clarity that comes from knowing you were never the problem. Clarity that comes from seeing their true colors, watching them unravel in the web they spun for themselves. And as they cry for help, as they try to claw their way out, you stand tall, untouched by the chaos, unbothered by their desperation. And here's the thing: they could have had peace. They could have had love. They could have had you. But they threw it all away for a fantasy, for something they thought would be easier, simpler. But life doesn't work like that, my friends. Life has a way of showing you that what you run from will always catch up to you, sooner or later. And now They're running in circles trying to escape a storm they can't outrun. Their replacement is living in the same hell you once did, and now they're starting to see the truth. Now they're starting to realize that they've been lied to, that they've been manipulated, just like you were. And the beauty of it all, you don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to say a word. The universe is doing the work for you, showing them exactly who they are, showing them exactly what they've done. And as they cry for help, as they try to find a way out, they'll look back at you. They'll remember the love you gave, the kindness, the patience, and they'll realize that they can never have that again. They'll realize that they've burned that bridge, that they've lost something they'll never find again. And that, my friends, is the sweetest revenge. You see, they thought they could escape their own reflection. They thought they could leave their flaws behind, leave their guilt in the past, but now they're staring in the mirror, and they don't like what they see. They don't like the mess they've become, and they hate it. They hate it because they know it's all their fault. They hate it because they know that you, the one they wronged, are out there living your life, free from their toxicity, free from their games. And their replacement, oh, they're waking up. They're starting to see the cracks, starting to see the lies, and it's eating them alive. It's breaking them down piece by piece. They thought they were different, thought they could handle it, but now they're drowning in the same chaos you once lived through. And you're watching from a distance, smiling because you know how the story ends. You know that the storm will consume them, just like it almost consumed you. But unlike them, you got out. You found your way to safety. And here's the kicker. No matter how much they cry, no matter how much they beg, no one's coming to save them. They've burned too many bridges, told too many lies, and now they're all alone in the mess they created. And that, my friends, is karma in its purest form. It's not about revenge, it's not about getting even. It's about watching the universe restore balance, watching the truth rise to the surface, and knowing that you've already won. So let them cry for help. Let them scream into the void. Let them suffer in the mess they made. Because you're free. You've moved on. You've risen above their games, their lies, their manipulation. You've left them behind, and now they're left to face the consequences of their actions. And the best part, you don't need to do anything. You don't need to get involved. Don't need to get your hands dirty. The universe is handling it for you. Karma is handling it for you. And they're getting exactly what they deserve. Their replacement's life has become a living nightmare, and now they're looking back at you, wishing they could undo their mistakes. But it's too late for that. The door's closed. You've moved on, and they're left with nothing but regret. So here's to you. Here's to your strength, your resilience, your power. Here's to the fact that you've risen above their chaos, that you've escaped their storm. And here's to the sweet satisfaction of knowing that they're now trapped in the very hell they created. They're crying for help, but no one's listening. And you're finally free. Oh, they thought they could walk away unscathed, didn't they? They thought they could just replace you like swapping out an old piece of furniture, get something new, shiny, and it would all be better. But life doesn't work that way. Life has a funny way of making sure you reap what you sow. And now their new toy, that replacement, it's already breaking down under the weight of the lies and deceit that they themselves planted. They're realizing now that you were not the problem. You were never the problem. The problem is staring back at them every morning in the mirror. See, they thought you'd be the one suffering. They thought you'd be crushed, begging for answers, pleading for them to come back. But what they didn't realize is that you are made of something stronger, something they could never break. While they were busy playing games, while they were trying to control the narrative, you were rising above. And now they're trapped in the very story they wrote, and it's not a happy ending for them. No, it's a tragedy of their own making. Let's talk about that replacement, though. The one they thought would be their salvation. The one they thought would bring them peace. How's that working out for them now? They're drowning in it, suffocating under the expectations they themselves created. And the replacement? Oh, they're exhausted too. Tired of trying to live up to the fantasy. Tired of trying to fill your shoes. But guess what? They can't. They never could. Because you are irreplaceable, and now they know it. You see, their biggest mistake wasn't just leaving you, it was thinking they could replace you. It was thinking they could find someone who would bend and twist and mold themselves to fit into their perfect little world. But real love, real connection, can't be replaced like that. It can't be bought. It can't be manufactured. And now the cracks are starting to show. Their replacement is buckling under the pressure, and they're left wondering why things aren't working out the way they thought they would. It's poetic, isn't it? The very person they thought would fix everything is now a constant reminder of what they've lost. Every argument, every disappointment, every failed expectation is like a slap in the face. And they hate it. They hate it. Because deep down, they know they did this to themselves. They know they traded something real for a cheap imitation, and now they have to live with that choice. And as they sit there, watching their new relationship crumble under the weight of their own selfishness, they'll think of you. Oh, they'll think of you. They'll remember the way you were patient, the way you loved them without conditions, the way you stood by their side when no one else would. And it'll haunt them. It'll eat away at them, day after day, because they know they can never have that again. They threw it all away, and now they're left with nothing but regret. So let them spin in their own web. Let them drown in the storm they created. Because you're beyond it. You've moved on. You've grown stronger, wiser, untouchable. And they're stuck, trapped in the mess they made, crying out for help that'll never come. They'll look for you, but you won't be there. You've closed the door, and you're never looking back. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that touches the very core of our humanity, the power of goodness. In a world often filled with hardship, betrayal, and cruelty, your goodness, your kindness, and your integrity are not just rays of hope, they are beacons of strength and resilience. When others have wronged you, when they have hurt you, lied to you, or betrayed your trust, know this: your goodness will haunt them forever. We've all been there. We've all faced moments when our trust was shattered, our hearts broken, and our spirits tested. People we thought we could rely on turned their backs on us, or worse, hurt us deliberately. In those moments, it's easy to feel powerless, to question our own worth, and to wonder if our kindness was a mistake. But I'm here to tell you that your goodness is your greatest power. Your goodness is not a weakness. It is not something to be ashamed of or to hide. It is the essence of who you are, the light that shines in the darkness, the strength that keeps you going even when the world feels heavy. When others choose to betray you, your response of kindness and integrity is a testament to your character. It is a reflection of your inner strength, your resilience, and your unwavering spirit. Those who wronged you may have thought they could break you. They may have believed that their actions would define you, but they were wrong. Your response, your goodness, will haunt them forever. It will be a constant reminder of the strength they could not break, the light they could not extinguish, and the goodness they could not tarnish. Imagine this: every time they look back, every time they see your face or hear your name, they will be reminded of the stark contrast between their actions and your response. They will remember your kindness, your forgiveness, and your strength. They will be haunted by the realization that despite their efforts to bring you down, you rose above with grace and dignity. Your goodness will be a mirror reflecting their own shortcomings and failures. Your acts of kindness, your moments of integrity, your decisions to rise above the hurt and choose goodness, these are the things that will haunt those who wronged you. They will be a constant reminder of your strength, your resilience, and your unwavering spirit. So when you feel the weight of betrayal, when you wonder if your kindness was in vain, remember this: your goodness is your power. It is the force that will haunt those who wronged you, the light that will guide you through the darkest times, and the strength that will carry you forward. Do not let their actions define you. Do not let their cruelty diminish your light. Continue to be good, to be kind, to be the incredible person you are. Let your goodness be the legacy that outshines their attempts to bring you down. Your goodness will haunt them forever. It will be the echo in their minds, the reminder of the strength they could not break and the light they could not dim. And in haunting them, it will also heal you. It will remind you of your own strength, your own resilience, and your own capacity for greatness. The road to healing is not always easy. There will be days when the memories of their actions weigh heavily on your heart. There will be moments when the pain resurfaces and you wonder if you'll ever truly be free of it. But in those moments, remember that your goodness is an enduring flame. It is the fire that cannot be quenched, the light that cannot be shadowed by their darkness. Your goodness is a testament to your humanity. It is a declaration that despite the pain, despite the betrayal, you chose to remain true to yourself. You chose to rise above, to stand tall, and to continue shining. This choice, this unwavering commitment to goodness, is your greatest triumph. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak about something that strikes at the very heart of human experience, something that many of us have faced but often find difficult to understand: the pain of being hurt by those we've shown nothing but kindness. It's a pain that cuts deep, a pain that lingers, because it comes from a place of trust, love, and hope, only to be met with betrayal, disregard, and intentional harm. Imagine offering your heart to someone, filled with nothing but good intentions, with the purest form of care and compassion. You extend your hand, believing that they will meet it with the same warmth and sincerity. But instead, they use that hand to pull you closer, only to push you away when you least expect it. Despite your kindness, despite your constant efforts to uplift them, they kept damaging you, intentionally, knowingly, and without remorse. It's hard to grasp why someone would hurt a person who has only ever shown them love and respect. It's even harder to accept when you realize that the harm wasn't accidental, it was deliberate. They knew exactly what they were doing. They saw the pain in your eyes, the hurt in your heart, and they still chose to keep going. They took your kindness and used it as a weapon against you, manipulating your good nature for their own selfish gain. And here's the truth that's hardest to face: no amount of kindness, no depth of love could change the fact that they were determined to cause you pain. It's a harsh reality to accept, but it's one that we must come to terms with in order to heal. Because the more we hold on to the belief that our kindness can change someone's heart, the more we allow them to continue their damage. But let me tell you this: your kindness is not a flaw. It is not a weakness. The fact that you continue to show love and compassion, even in the face of cruelty, speaks to the strength of your character. It takes a strong heart to keep giving when all it receives in return is pain. It takes a resilient soul to continue caring when others have shown you nothing but disregard. But there comes a time when you must recognize that your kindness is too precious to be wasted on those who do not appreciate it. There comes a moment when you must realize that the people who intentionally damage you do not deserve your kindness, your love, or your time. They do not deserve to have someone like you in their lives. It's time to protect yourself, to guard your heart, and to walk away from those who would continue to harm you. It's not about giving up on kindness, it's about directing it toward those who will value it, who will reciprocate it, and who will uplift you as you uplift them. Because there are people out there who will cherish your kindness, who will see it for the rare and beautiful gift that it is, and who will never take it for granted. So, to those who have been damaged by the very people you tried to help, I say this: you deserve better. You deserve to be surrounded by people who recognize your worth, who appreciate your kindness, and who will never use it against you. You deserve to be treated with the same love and respect that you offer so freely to others. And to those who have intentionally caused harm, know this: one day, you will realize the gravity of what you've done. One day, you will look back and understand that you let go of something extraordinary, something that you will never find again. And when that day comes, it will be too late. But for you, the one who has been hurt, this is not the end of your story. This is just the beginning of a new chapter, one where you prioritize your own well-being, where you surround yourself with people who bring light into your life rather than darkness. You have the strength to move forward, to heal, and to reclaim your kindness as the powerful force that it is. Remember, your kindness is not dependent on how others treat you. It is a reflection of who you are, a reflection of your heart, your spirit, and your unwavering belief in the goodness of humanity. Don't let anyone take that away from you. Instead, let it guide you toward those who will cherish it as much as you do. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a certain pain that comes with giving everything you have to someone. Your love, your time, your energy, only to have them walk away as if none of it mattered. It leaves you questioning everything, doesn't it? Wondering if you ever meant anything to them at all. But let me tell you this: the fact that they left doesn't diminish the value of what you gave. And mark my words, very soon they will regret losing you. You see, love is not something that can be easily replaced. Kindness, patience, loyalty, those are rare treasures in a world often filled with selfishness and indifference. You were their rock, their constant in a world full of uncertainties. You saw them at their lowest and still chose to love them. You gave them grace when they didn't deserve it, stood by them when others would have walked away. But instead of cherishing that, they took it for granted. They believed they could find someone else, someone who would give them what you gave, without even realizing that what you offered was unique, irreplaceable. At first, it might seem like they've moved on, like they don't care. They may appear indifferent, happy even. But the truth is, they haven't yet understood the depth of what they've lost. That realization takes time. One day, when they're alone with their thoughts, when they're surrounded by people who don't see them the way you did, when they're met with coldness where they once found warmth, that's when it will hit them. The emptiness will start to creep in, and they'll finally understand that what they lost can never be replaced. They will replay moments in their mind, moments where you were kind when they were cruel, moments where you stayed when they pushed you away. They will remember every time you forgave them, every time you showed up for them, when they didn't deserve it. And the regret will begin to settle in. It will eat away at them, little by little, because they'll realize they let go of something they'll never find again. You. The truth is, people don't forget those who treated them with genuine love and kindness. No matter how many people they meet, no matter how far they run, they will carry the memory of you with them. They will search for your warmth in the arms of others, but it won't be there. They will look for the understanding you gave in new relationships, but they won't find it. Because the love you offered was special, it was pure, and it was theirs to keep if only they had been wise enough to hold on to it. But here's the thing: you don't need to wait for their regret. You don't need to hold on to the hope that they'll realize what they lost. You've already done more than enough. You loved, you cared, you gave your all, and that is something to be proud of. Their failure to appreciate you is not your burden to carry. They will have to live with the consequences of their choices, and believe me, that realization will be more painful than you can imagine. Their regret will be a constant reminder of the treasure they had and let slip through their fingers. In the meantime, while they are left with the weight of their mistakes, you will rise, you will heal, you will rebuild stronger than before. And here's the beautiful part: while they are stuck in their cycle of regret, you will be moving forward, finding peace and joy in the people who truly see your worth. You will discover love again, but this time, it will be with someone who doesn't need to lose you to realize what they have. Someone who will cherish every part of you from the very beginning. Someone who won't wait until it's too late to appreciate the love you bring into their life. Their regret will become a part of them, something they'll have to carry with them for the rest of their lives. It will be there in the quiet moments, when they're alone, thinking back on all the chances you gave them that they didn't deserve. It will be there in the relationships that never quite measure up to what you offered. It will be there every time they remember the way you loved them so purely, so unconditionally, and know that they'll never find that again. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a momentous decision we all face at some point in our lives, the decision to close a door forever. This decision is often fraught with emotional turmoil, but it is also a powerful act of self-preservation and growth. Just know you have had enough. It's time to close on that door forever. Life is a journey filled with lessons, experiences, and relationships that shape us. Some of these relationships and experiences bring joy, love, and fulfillment, but others, unfortunately, bring pain, heartache, and disappointment in ways. We invest our time, energy, and emotions into people and situations that, in the end, may not be deserving of such investment. And after giving so much of yourself, after enduring so much pain and disappointment, there comes a point when you realize you have had enough. You have had enough of the lies, the betrayal, the constant disappointment. You have had enough of feeling undervalued, unappreciated, and disrespected. You have had enough of sacrificing your happiness and peace for the sake of someone or something that only brings you pain. This realization is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. It is the moment when you acknowledge that you deserve better. Closing a door forever is not an easy decision. It is a choice that requires immense courage and strength. It means letting go of what is familiar, even if it is painful, and stepping into the unknown. It means saying goodbye to the dreams and hopes you once had, and accepting that some things are not meant to be. But it also means reclaiming your power, your peace, and your happiness. Imagine yourself standing before a door that has brought you nothing but heartache. On the other side, there is chaos, negativity, and pain. You have tried to fix what is broken, to mend what is torn, but to no avail. Now it is time to close that door forever. As you do, feel the weight lift off your shoulders. Feel the peace wash over you. This is the beginning of a new chapter in your life. When you close that door, you make room for new opportunities, new relationships, and new experiences. You make space for the things and people who truly deserve to be in your life. You open yourself up to the possibility of genuine happiness and fulfillment. This act of closing the door is not about loss, but about gain. It is about gaining your life back, your joy and your peace. Do not let fear hold you back. The fear of the unknown, the fear of being alone, the fear of making a mistake. Trust in yourself and in your strength. You have endured so much, and yet you are still standing. This is proof of your resilience and your ability to overcome. Trust that by closing this door, you are making the best decision for your future. Surround yourself with people who support and uplift you. Seek out those who remind you of your worth and who encourage you to be your best self. In their company, you will find the strength to keep that door closed and to move forward with confidence and hope. Remember, you are not defined by the doors you close, but by the new ones you open. You are defined by your ability to recognize when enough is enough and to take action to protect your well-being. This is your life, and you have the power to shape it. Do not be afraid to close the door on what no longer serves you. Embrace the new possibilities that await you. In conclusion, recognize when you have had enough. Find the courage to close that door forever. Embrace the new opportunities that come with this decision. Trust in your strength, your resilience, and your worth. This is not the end, but a new beginning. You deserve happiness, peace, and fulfillment. Do not settle for anything less. You didn't block them out of anger. Anger would have meant they still had access to your emotions, that they could still pull a reaction out of you. What you did was quieter, cleaner, and far more permanent. You outgrew them out of clarity. And clarity doesn't slam doors, it simply stops walking down hallways that no longer lead anywhere. There was a time when you tried to understand them, explain yourself, bridge gaps they refused to cross. You mistook effort for progress and patience for love. But clarity arrived the moment you realized growth isn't mutual just because history exists. Some people stay the same while expecting you to keep shrinking to meet them. You didn't wake up furious and decide to erase them. You woke up aware of patterns repeating, aware of how drained you felt after every interaction, aware that your peace kept being negotiated away for familiarity. Awareness doesn't shout, it concludes. Blocking them wasn't punishment, it was protection. Protection of the version of you that finally learned what costs too much. You didn't do it to make a statement. You did it because continuing access no longer made sense. Anger reacts. Clarity responds by choosing distance. You saw that conversations were circular, apologies conditional, change always promised but never practiced. You realized you were doing the emotional labor for everyone in the room. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Outgrowing someone doesn't mean you think you're better than them. It means you're no longer compatible with who they choose to remain. Growth changes your tolerance, not your ego. You didn't block them to hurt them. You blocked them because staying connected hurt you. That's the part people misunderstand. They think cutting access is cruelty. They don't see the months or years of internal processing that happened before silence. By the time you blocked them, the emotional decision had already been made. Anger would have kept you watching. Clarity allowed you to look forward. You didn't disappear dramatically. You simply stopped explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped revisiting conversations that never evolved. You stopped offering versions of yourself that weren't respected. Outgrowing them meant accepting that love without alignment becomes a liability. You didn't need closure from them. Clarity gave you all the answers you needed. Their behavior explained everything words never could. Blocking them wasn't emotional. It was logical. You recognized that access is a privilege, not a right. And privileges expire when they're abused. They might think you're cold now, but cold implies numbness. What you are is settled. You didn't leave because you stopped caring. You left because you finally cared enough about yourself. And that's the truth they struggle with the most. You didn't block them in anger. You didn't leave in chaos. You didn't act out of spite. You outgrew them out of clarity. And clarity doesn't look back. You didn't block them because you were overwhelmed with emotion. You blocked them because the emotions finally settled into understanding. When clarity arrives, it doesn't argue, it reorganizes your life. You noticed how every interaction required you to explain yourself again, how your growth made them uncomfortable, how your questions were met with defensiveness instead of curiosity. Clarity doesn't tolerate emotional stagnation. You realized you were evolving while they were recycling the same excuses, same patterns, same apologies, same expectations that you'd stay patient forever. Awareness changed the cost-benefit equation. Blocking them wasn't impulsive. It was the final step after countless internal negotiations where you tried to make it work without losing yourself. You didn't feel rage when you cut contact. You felt relief. Relief is never born from anger, it's born from alignment. You saw how much energy went into managing their reactions, how carefully you chose words, how often you shrank to avoid conflict. Clarity exposed that imbalance. Outgrowing someone feels quiet on the outside and seismic on the inside. It's the moment you accept that staying connected is more damaging than letting go. You didn't need a dramatic ending. You needed a clean one. Clean endings don't bleed. You realized you were being asked to tolerate what you would never allow for your future self. That realization made the decision simple, not easy. Blocking them was a boundary, not a verdict. It wasn't about right or wrong, it was about fit. You stopped confusing familiarity with safety. Familiar pain stopped feeling acceptable once you tasted peace. You noticed how they dismissed your concerns but panicked when you withdrew. That contrast taught you everything. Clarity showed you that access doesn't equal intimacy. Some people are close but never truly present. You didn't hate them. Hate requires energy. You redirected that energy inward. You realized that growth without separation is rare. Distance is often the tuition of evolution. Blocking them wasn't about winning. It was about ending a cycle that kept you stuck. You saw that explanations only prolonged the inevitable. Understanding didn't require agreement. You didn't leave because you felt superior. You left because you felt responsible for your own well-being. Clarity taught you that love without respect becomes obligation. You stopped waiting for them to change because you accepted that wanting change doesn't create it. Blocking them meant choosing silence over self-betrayal. You understood that emotional access is earned through consistency, not history. You realized you were carrying the emotional weight of two people. Letting go was redistribution. You didn't cut them off suddenly. You detached gradually. The block was just the visible part. You noticed how your peace increased the moment communication ended. That was your answer. You stopped negotiating boundaries with people who treated boundaries like threats. Clarity stripped away hope that kept you stuck. You learned that some people only value you when they feel you slipping away. Blocking them wasn't revenge. Revenge looks back. You looked forward. You didn't need them to understand your decision. Understanding was no longer a requirement. You accepted that outgrowing someone doesn't make them bad, it makes the connection obsolete. You realized that staying accessible was delaying your own growth. Blocking them was an act of self-respect, not self-defense. You chose progress over proximity. You didn't erase them out of bitterness. You removed them out of alignment. And the final truth is this: anger burns fast and fades. Clarity settles in and stays. You didn't block them to make a point. You blocked them because your life no longer had space for what you'd already outgrown. You reached a point where conversations felt like rewinding the same scene again and again. Different days, same confusion. Different words, same outcome. Clarity showed you that repetition without progress isn't patience, it's self-neglect. You noticed how much you edited yourself to keep the peace. How often you swallowed thoughts to avoid discomfort. Growth made that silence unbearable. You didn't want harmony that required self-erasure anymore. Blocking them wasn't emotional overload, it was emotional efficiency. You stopped spending energy where nothing evolved. You realized how often you left interactions feeling smaller, heavier, and less yourself. Clarity doesn't ignore patterns, it connects them. You saw that they were attached to who you used to be, not who you were becoming. Staying would have meant freezing yourself in an old version. You didn't leave because things were terrible every day. You left because they were never getting better in the ways that mattered. Outgrowing someone is recognizing that effort no longer leads to improvement, only exhaustion. You became aware of how much emotional labor you were doing alone, explaining, reassuring, translating, holding space. Clarity asked a simple question: who is holding space for you? Blocking them was choosing rest over resilience. You understood that love without growth turns into maintenance. And maintenance drains joy slowly, quietly, relentlessly. You saw that they listened to respond, not to understand. Awareness changes how much you're willing to repeat yourself. You didn't want to keep proving your worth to people who benefited from doubting it. Clarity made you allergic to inconsistency. What you once tolerated began to feel insulting. You realized how often you gave grace without receiving accountability. Grace without balance becomes permission. Blocking them was you stepping out of a role you were never meant to play forever. You stopped mistaking potential for reality. What could be stopped outweighing what was. You learned that emotional closeness means mutual effort, not one person constantly stretching. You didn't need to be right. You needed to be free. Clarity taught you that you don't owe everyone access to your healing journey. You recognized how often they crossed lines and called it misunderstanding. Awareness sharpened your boundaries. Blocking them meant you stopped waiting for change that required someone else to want it. You accepted that some people grow attached to your tolerance, not your presence. You realized peace felt unfamiliar at first because chaos had been normalized. They condemn you because you saw what they hide. You spoke the quiet truths that everyone else was too afraid to name. You looked beyond the smiles, the staged kindness, the carefully curated lies, and you saw them, not their image, not their mask, them, the part they keep buried under performance and pride. And they never forgave you for that. They never hated you for being wrong, they hated you for being right. You didn't play along. You didn't join their theater of falsehoods. While they worshipped appearances, you kept searching for substance. And when you finally pointed out the cracks in their perfection, they didn't fix them, they painted over them, then blamed you for noticing. You became their threat the moment you stopped participating in their illusion. People like that survive on secrecy. They crave validation, not understanding. And when you refused to play your part, the quiet, compliant one who claps for hypocrisy, you became the villain in their script. They condemned you not for your sins, but for your sight. The truth is uncomfortable when you've built your identity on lies. You became their mirror, and mirrors are dangerous things. They show people what they've spent years avoiding. And when they couldn't destroy the reflection, they decided to destroy the mirror. They say you changed, but you didn't. You just stopped pretending not to notice. You stopped laughing at fake jokes, stopped defending people who only showed loyalty when convenient. You began to move differently, and suddenly the masks started slipping. Their discomfort was never about you. It was about exposure. They talk about you now, whispering, dramatizing, rewriting the story. Because villains make better conversation than truth tellers. It's easier to condemn you than confront the parts of themselves you revealed. So they built a narrative where you're the problem, because that way, they never have to face what they are. You became their cautionary tale. Don't end up like them, they say. But what they really mean is, don't wake up like them. Because once you see through the act, you can't go back to clapping. You can't unsee the manipulation, the ego disguised as morality, the affection that was always conditional. They mistake your silence for guilt. But it's not guilt, it's grace. You don't need to defend yourself to those who already decided their version of the truth. You learned that arguments with liars only make the lie louder, so you went quiet. And in that quiet, their stories began to crumble. They condemn you because you made them visible. You stripped away their borrowed light. You turned the spotlight back toward the shadows. And people who thrive in darkness despise illumination. They'll call you arrogant, cruel, dramatic, anything but accurate. Because accuracy is fatal to falsehood. And now, you walk alone but free. You no longer seek acceptance from those who wear their morality like makeup. You've seen too much to return to blindness. You learned that solitude is safer than fake company, and truth is heavier, but cleaner than deception. They condemn you because you saw their true colors and refused to paint over them. They still perform, pretending the curtain never fell. But you can see the tremor in their smiles, the hesitation in their eyes. They sense your gaze on them, and it unsettles them, because you know what they look like without the costume. Nothing terrifies pretenders more than someone who remembers the truth. They gather in small circles to reassure each other that you're the problem. Every sentence they speak is a confession disguised as gossip. You don't correct them. You don't need to. The truth doesn't need defenders. It needs time. And time is patient. It always exposes what ego tries to hide. You learn that peace isn't the absence of enemies. It's the absence of masks. Once you've seen people's true faces, you stop expecting sincerity from them. You stop offering explanations to those who hear only what flatters them. You start living quietly, watching their performances with detached amusement. They mistake your detachment for bitterness. But bitterness is loud. Indifference is elegant. You no longer need revenge. You have perspective. You understand now that falsehood collapses under its own weight. All you have to do is step aside and let gravity do its work. You stopped collecting apologies. You realized most are not apologies at all, just people trying to reset access to you. So you built boundaries so high that only truth can climb them. It's lonely up there, yes, but it's honest. And honesty has become your oxygen. They think your quiet is weakness because they mistake noise for strength. But strength is restraint. Power is refusing to waste words on those who twist them. Every time you stay silent, they reveal themselves a little more. You learn that the best interrogation tool is patience. You don't flinch anymore when they accuse you. You let them talk. Let them invent. Lies are like ghosts, they vanish when ignored. And every false story told about you becomes another thread tightening around their own reputation. Their theater is collapsing, and you don't even have to lift a hand. You've grown fluent in solitude. It no longer feels like exile. It feels like clarity. There's peace in being misunderstood by liars, because you no longer need them to understand you. You don't explain honesty to those addicted to illusion. You let them drown in their own narratives. They condemn you because you don't worship their version of truth. But you've learned, truth doesn't need a congregation, only conviction. You carry it quietly now, like a weapon concealed beneath elegance. They sense it, even if they can't name it, the calm of someone who knows too much and speaks too little. And in the end, that's what breaks them. Not your words, not your actions, your awareness. You saw their true colors, and you didn't flinch. You didn't run. You simply stepped back and let the light do what it always does, reveal. And revelation, my dear, is the one thing falsehood can never survive. They think you disappeared. You didn't. You simply stopped performing. You walked off their stage and built your own room of silence where only truth is invited. From there you watch them scramble for an audience, terrified that the applause has died. They still crave validation. You now crave nothing. You've become the still point they can't reach. Every rumor they release returns to them slightly distorted, a mirror echoing their own cruelty. They don't understand how it happens, and that's what eats them alive, the realization that your absence became their reflection. Once you stop reacting, the entire machinery of manipulation collapses. You learned that early. When you refused to defend yourself, their words lost oxygen. They mistook your calm for surrender. But it was strategy. You understood that silence in the right hands is a blade sharper than anger. They missed the version of you that used to justify everything. They missed the angel who kept forgiving their shadows. But the angel grew tired of being the light source for people afraid of dawn. Now you shine differently, cold, deliberate, selective. The warmth they once abused no longer exists for them. You became the reminder they can't escape. Your name surfaces when honesty threatens to surface. They roll their eyes, pretend indifference, but their tone betrays them. You've become proof that authenticity survives exile, and they resent that proof because it nullifies their pretense. You stop trying to change anyone. That's real maturity. Watching someone lie, betray, and repeat the pattern without lifting a finger to save them. You simply observe, detached and calm, knowing that life always demands payment in the currency of truth. They condemn you because you're free. You don't owe them narrative, explanation, or access. Freedom frightens those who live on approval. You learn that detachment isn't loneliness, it's sovereignty. You own your peace the way tyrants own empires, except yours requires no subjects. The stories they tell about you are shrinking. Each time you thrive silently, their versions lose credibility. Lies decay when starved of attention. You don't fight them, you outlast them. Time, after all, is loyal to the truthful. Now they avoid your eyes. Not because you threaten them, but because they see what you see. They feel exposed in your presence, stripped of performance. That's the quiet authority of awareness. It commands without demanding, it unsettles without speaking. And you, once the condemned, now walk through their world untouchable. You don't seek revenge, you embody it. Your existence is the verdict. They condemned you because you saw their true colors, and the tragedy for them is simple. The vision you carry cannot be unseen, and the peace you've earned cannot be taken back. They're shocked because the place they pushed you into was meant to erase you. It wasn't just darkness, it was isolation, doubt, and the quiet hope that you'd disappear without making noise. They assumed the pit would finish what they started. They thought the weight would crush you, that the silence would confuse you, that the lack of support would convince you that you were nothing without them. They mistook abandonment for defeat. They didn't expect you to breathe down there. They didn't expect you to adapt. Darkness feels final only to those who've never had to survive inside it. They're shocked because while they turned away, you were learning how to see without light. You stopped relying on what they provided and started building from what remained. They assumed fear would paralyze you. Instead, it sharpened you. Pain didn't break you, it reorganized you. They thought the pit would be the end of your story. They didn't realize it would become the beginning of your awareness. Down there, stripped of illusion, you saw things clearly for the first time. Who stayed, who vanished, who mattered, who never did. They're shocked because you didn't come out begging. You didn't crawl back asking for rescue. You climbed out on your own terms. You didn't come back loud. You came back different, quieter, heavier, grounded. They expected damage they could point at. What they got was resilience they couldn't explain. They don't understand how the same darkness that was supposed to swallow you became the place where you stopped fearing it. They're shocked because the pit taught you independence. You learned how to survive without applause, validation, or permission. What they intended as punishment became preparation. They wanted you to doubt yourself forever. Instead, you stopped doubting anything that came from them. They expected bitterness. You emerged with clarity. They're shocked because you didn't come out angry, you came out finished. Finished explaining. Finished pleading. Finished needing their approval. The pit forced you to confront yourself without distraction. And you survived that meeting. They don't recognize you now because the version of you they controlled didn't survive the fall. They're shocked because you didn't just escape, you evolved. You learned how strong you were when there was nothing left to lean on. They thought throwing you into darkness made them powerful. They didn't realize power fades when the target survives. You walked out carrying lessons they'll never understand because they've never had to rebuild themselves from nothing. They're shocked because the pit didn't claim you. It forged you, and the truth settles in painfully for them. They tried to bury you, but you learned how to live underground, and when you rose, you weren't the same person anymore. They're shocked because the darkness didn't make you weak, it stripped you, and what remained was something unbreakable. When nothing was left to perform for, you discovered who you really were. They thought isolation would hollow you out. They didn't realize isolation would force you inward, where the real foundation was always waiting. They assumed the pit would make you desperate for rescue. Instead, it taught you self-reliance. You stopped waiting for hands that never reached down. They're shocked because you learned how to sit with yourself in silence and not fall apart. Most people avoid themselves. You faced yourself in the dark and survived. They thought confusion would consume you. Instead, clarity formed. When the noise stopped, truth finally spoke. They expected the darkness to turn you bitter. It made you precise. They're shocked because you stopped needing their approval the moment you realized they abandoned you intentionally. Down there, you learned the difference between allies and spectators. And you stopped calling spectators family. They thought the pit would humble you into obedience. It humbled you into self-respect. They're shocked because you didn't come out seeking revenge. Revenge would have kept you emotionally underground. You came out free. They assumed the fall would damage your confidence. It destroyed illusions instead. They don't understand how you stayed sane without reassurance. They don't know that reassurance becomes unnecessary once you trust your own judgment. They're shocked because you didn't beg the same people who pushed you. You refused to give them the satisfaction of your collapse. In the pit, you learned how to move without witnesses. That skill changed everything. They expected your voice to fade. It deepened. They're shocked because the darkness taught you discipline. You stopped wasting energy on what couldn't be controlled. You learned patience the hard way, not waiting for others, but waiting for the right moment to rise. They don't recognize your calm because it was forged under pressure, not comfort. They thought fear would rule you. Fear taught you awareness. They're shocked because you didn't come out needing explanations. You already understood everything that mattered. You learned how to carry yourself without validation. That's when power became permanent. They assumed the pit would erase your worth. It revealed it. They're shocked because you didn't break down publicly. You rebuilt privately. They expected you to return fragile. You returned fortified. They don't understand how the same people who left you taught you independence by leaving. They thought the darkness would make you doubt your path. It clarified it. They're shocked because you learned how to trust silence more than promises. The pit showed you how little you actually needed to survive and how much you'd been carrying unnecessarily. They expected you to resent the fall. You respected it for what it taught you. They don't realize the pit removed your fear of losing everything you already had. They're shocked because you stopped fearing abandonment once it happened. You learned how to walk forward without looking back because nothing behind you was worth returning to. They assumed the fall would define you. It refined you. They're shocked because you came out with boundaries instead of wounds. You no longer fear darkness, you understand it. They don't recognize your strength because it doesn't announce itself. They thought throwing you away meant the end. It meant the beginning of self-authorship. They're shocked because you didn't seek revenge against the pit. You simply climbed out and kept walking. You didn't come back to prove anything. You came back to live. They don't understand how losing everything gave you clarity instead of despair. They're shocked because the pit didn't destroy you, it trained you. And the final truth settles heavy and unavoidable for them. They threw you into the dark expecting silence, but darkness taught you how to stand alone, how to see without light, how to survive without permission. You didn't just come out alive. You came out untouchable. They're still trying to understand how the same place meant to erase you became the place that educated you. Darkness didn't weaken you, it removed everything false that light once disguised. They thought pain would make you cling to whoever hurt you last. Instead, pain taught you discernment. You stopped confusing familiarity with safety. They're shocked because you learned how to be alone without feeling lonely. Solitude stopped feeling like punishment and started feeling like peace. They expected the pit to shrink your world. It expanded your perspective. You saw life without filters, without roles, without expectations. They don't understand how hunger for survival turned into hunger for purpose. You didn't just want to escape, you wanted to evolve. They assumed fear would make you reckless. It made you deliberate. Every move you make now has intention behind it. They're shocked because you don't flinch at memories anymore. What once haunted you now feels distant, like a lesson already passed. The pit taught you how to separate emotion from decision. You learned that feelings can exist without controlling outcomes. They expected you to come back loud, defensive, reactive. You returned composed, observant, unbothered. They don't understand how being ignored trained you to stop seeking attention. Validation lost its grip on you. They're shocked because you trust yourself now more than anyone else. That trust makes you impossible to manipulate. You learned how to recognize patterns early. What once took years to notice now takes seconds. They thought the darkness would turn you cold in the wrong way. It turned you clear. They don't realize the pit stripped away your fear of disappointment. You already survived it. They're shocked because you stopped explaining your choices. Explanation became unnecessary once clarity arrived. You learned how to walk away without guilt. Survival erased the need to justify self-preservation. They expected trauma to define you. You turned it into training. They don't recognize you because you no longer react the way they expect. Predictability left you down there. They're shocked because you don't chase closure. You created it yourself. The pit taught you how to let silence speak louder than arguments ever could. They assumed you'd return needing reassurance. You returned with certainty. They don't understand how losing control over everything gave you control over yourself. They're shocked because you don't fear falling anymore. You know you can climb. And the final truth settles quietly but permanently. They threw you into darkness thinking it was the end. But darkness taught you survival. Survival taught you mastery. And mastery made sure you will never be pushed again. You didn't destroy something out of anger. You dismantled it out of foresight. What they called loyalty, you recognized as a slow poison that would have seeped into every future version of you. You saw how patterns repeat, how damage disguises itself as tradition, how silence becomes inheritance. So you did the unthinkable. You broke the chain before it learned your children's names. They didn't understand your decision at the time. They thought you were reckless, dramatic, ungrateful. They couldn't see the rot because they were comfortable living inside it. But you weren't built to survive at the cost of your lineage. You chose long-term survival over short-term approval. You sabotaged what would have normalized suffering. You refused to pass down emotional debt disguised as culture. You ended cycles that others were too afraid to even name. That kind of courage doesn't look heroic in the moment. It looks lonely, misunderstood, and dangerous. They mocked you when you walked away. They said you overreacted. They said you'd regret it. They said you were burning bridges that everyone else learned to live with. What they didn't realize was that those bridges led straight into generational collapse. You saw the future clearly. Children growing up in silence. Partners repeating the same damage. Values eroding slowly under the weight of unhealed wounds. You didn't wait for proof, you trusted pattern recognition. And you acted. Sabotage wasn't destruction. It was intervention. You removed yourself from a system designed to extract, diminish, and normalize pain. You didn't let dysfunction become destiny. At first, they called you the villain. That's always how it starts. The one who refuses to comply becomes the threat. The one who says, "This ends with me," becomes the problem. They couldn't control you anymore, so they tried to control the narrative. But time is cruel to lies and loyal to truth. Slowly, they began to see what you saw. The fallout you predicted arrived right on schedule. The damage you warned about unfolded exactly as you described. And suddenly, your overreaction looked like precision. You didn't just save yourself. You altered the trajectory of everything that comes after you. Generations won't carry wounds they never received. Children won't have to unlearn what you refused to teach. Love won't come with conditions you rejected. Peace won't be earned through suffering because you refused to romanticize it. That's when the whispers changed. They stopped calling you dramatic. They started calling you brave. They stopped asking why you left. They started asking how you saw it so early. You became the reference point, the example, the one people quietly compare themselves to when they're standing at the edge of the same decision you already made. You didn't need statues or speeches. Your legacy is invisible but permanent. It lives in calmer homes, healthier bonds, and people who never have to heal from what you prevented. They think you're a legend now because you did what most people are too afraid to do. You chose the future over familiarity. You sacrificed comfort for clarity, belonging for boundaries, approval for protection, and those choices echo louder than applause ever could. They finally understand that sabotage isn't always destruction. Sometimes it's surgery, painful, necessary, life-saving. You cut out what would have killed slowly. They admire you now because you proved that bloodlines don't excuse damage, history doesn't justify harm, and tradition doesn't outrank truth. You didn't inherit strength, you built it by refusing to inherit dysfunction. And the irony is brutal. The same people who resisted your decision now benefit from it. They walk paths you cleared. They enjoy peace you paid for. You don't remind them. Legends never do. You carry the quiet satisfaction of knowing that because of you, something ended permanently. No repetition, no continuation, no silent suffering passed forward. You didn't win an argument. You won a timeline. They speak your name with respect now because you had the courage to be hated first. You were the interruption in a pattern that thought it was eternal. You were the one who said this stops here and meant it. That's why they think you're a legend. Not because you were loud, not because you were perfect, but because you saw the future breaking and broke the cycle before it could. What they didn't realize is that the hardest battles aren't fought in public. They're fought in private moments where walking away feels like death and staying feels familiar. You chose the harder loneliness over inherited destruction. That choice reshaped everything. You lost people when you made that decision. Not because you were wrong, but because endings always expose who benefited from things staying broken. You were willing to be misunderstood if it meant being free. At the time, it looked like self-sabotage. From the outside, it appeared like you threw away security, tradition, or loyalty. Only later did it become clear you were protecting something far more valuable: continuity without corruption. You absorbed the blame so future versions wouldn't have to absorb the damage. That's a debt most people are unwilling to pay. They didn't see the nights you questioned yourself, the moments where doubt crept in and whispered that maybe endurance was easier than change. But endurance without direction is just slow decay, and you refused to rot quietly. You became the pause in a lineage that never stopped running toward the same cliff. You didn't just slow it down, you redirected it entirely. Now they understand that cycles don't break themselves. Someone has to stand up and be the disruption. Someone has to be willing to look like the villain so others don't have to live like victims. You didn't ask for gratitude. You didn't wait for permission. You acted before applause arrived, knowing it might never come. That's why the respect feels heavier now. It wasn't handed to you. It arrived late, carrying regret and clarity with it. They see now that what you dismantled would have demanded silence, compliance, and sacrifice from generations that never agreed to pay that price. You save people who may never fully understand what you saved them from. That's real power, unseen, uncompromised, and permanent. You didn't leave chaos behind. You left space. Space for healthier love. Space for better decisions. Space for futures that don't require recovery. They call you a legend because you didn't wait for things to become unbearable before acting. You trusted your discernment when everyone else trusted denial. You taught them that loyalty without conscience is just participation in harm. You proved that protecting the future sometimes looks like destroying the present. And the truth is, you never wanted to be remembered. You just wanted it to stop. But endings this clean don't disappear. They echo. Every time someone chooses differently because of you, your decision lives again. Every time a pattern fails to repeat, your courage speaks. You didn't break tradition, you corrected it. You didn't abandon legacy, you refined it. And that's how the story closes. Not with applause, not with validation, but with something far more powerful. A future that survives because you had the courage to end what should have never continued. That's not rebellion. That's not sabotage. That's legendary intervention. They don't always say it out loud, but when they face a hard decision now, your story shows up in their minds, not as a warning, as permission. Permission to choose courage over comfort, truth over tradition, future over fear. What you did rewired how they see strength. Strength used to mean endurance, silence, sacrifice. You proved strength can also mean refusal, walking away, ending something even when it costs you everything familiar. You didn't just change an outcome, you changed the standard. What was once tolerated now looks unacceptable. What was once normalized now feels dangerous. That shift alone altered generations. Some of them still struggle to admit you were right. Ego takes longer to heal than damage. But even in their resistance, they live inside the world your decision created. You became proof that patterns aren't destiny, that bloodlines don't override consciousness, that awareness is stronger than inheritance. There's a quiet envy underneath their admiration, because you did what they were too afraid to do when it was their turn. You faced the consequences head on so no one else would have to. They call you a legend now because legends aren't comfortable people. They're necessary disruptions. They arrive, they break something sacred but toxic, and they leave behind something livable. You didn't wait for permission from elders, peers, or fear. You trusted your discernment when no one clapped for it. That trust is what made you dangerous and unforgettable. Some nights, they still replay the moment you walked away, not because they miss you, but because that moment marked the end of their illusion that things could continue unchanged. You didn't just save future generations from pain, you saved them from confusion, from growing up thinking suffering was normal, silence was love, and endurance was virtue. That's why your name carries weight now. Not because you demanded respect, but because your absence forced reflection. You became the line in the story where everything before it is how it used to be, and everything after it is how it should be.